Hear ye, and welcome back to the Royal Geek Podcast. I am your host, Tyler Rollison, also known as T-Roll. Yes, I know you missed us. We are back, and to celebrate being back, I'm not alone. I've got a couple buddies with me. First of all, we got Justin Sandoval, a.k.a. Sandy, and of course, we have my man Anthony Amato, who we like to call Shamato. Boys, happy freaking New Year.
Yeah, 2023, man.
Yep.
Good times.
Yeah, it is nice to be back, and it was a nice little break that we had, so it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we, I feel like last year, it was like a year ago, like a calendar year ago, we just kind of blazed through the new year.
Yeah, we did.
We might have had a Star Wars show or something.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
But anyways, I feel like, Book of Boba Fett, I think, came out.
I think so, yeah. I think
So-
you're right about that.
So I think because we had Spider-Man and then Book of Boba Fett, and there was a lot happening in December. And then this past December was a lot quieter, and we were like, you know what?
Break time.
Let's just take a break.
I
And
think
it's-
Hawkeye, too, actually, was right around that time period. Like, I think it was finishing up
finished.
right around there.
I think you're right, yeah. So there was a lot. That's right. But this year we were like, you know what? Let's just take a break.
Yeah.
So we're sorry that we haven't had content for you guys, everybody who's listening, everybody who's watching. We haven't had content in a while, but we are really excited to be back. And before we get into our topic today, which is like our bread and butter, before we get into talking Marvel, wanted to say, remind everybody to please hit subscribe wherever you are listening, wherever you are watching, if you're on YouTube, watching our beautiful faces, or if you're on Apple Podcasts listening or Google or Spotify, please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen, and also follow us on social media at Royal Geek Pod, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, especially Instagram and TikTok. Those ones are bumping. So please follow us on social media at Royal Geek Pod. And yeah, boys, I think it's time to get into the fun.
Let's do it, man. Marvel
Let's
content.
go.
So with the turn of the new year, we said goodbye, or we closed a chapter in the MCU. We closed Phase 4.
We did.
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever was the end of Phase 4. And the next property that comes out for the MCU will be the beginning of Phase 5. So
Yes.
what we're going to do tonight, we are going to do a review of Phase 4, which, not in depth, of course.
Right.
In fact, what we're actually going to do, we I have all of our rankings. So the three of us, we all ranked the 15 movies and series. We ranked them from best to worst in our opinion, and then I have a collective ranking. These two guys don't know what that is.
I
Nope.
don't. I know mine. but
Yeah,
that's it.
so everyone
That's
knows
all
their
I
own.
know mine.
Everyone knows their own. I know all of them because I did the numbers and I kind of combined everything. But yeah, I'm excited to do that. And then later in the pod, we will do a preview for Phase 5.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Looking forward to it.
Are you guys ready?
I'm a little excited because you kind of teased how different and these lists are.
Well, I think there's going to
There
be
might be some contention.
I think there's some. Yes, I think there's some surprises, some things that make sense. Like the first one, we're gonna actually start with not the highest. I'm gonna start with the lowest.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to
Great.
build that tension.
Yeah, we're gonna build up. So we're gonna start with of all the movies and shows. So this does not include all the special releases and the shorts like the I Am Groot or the
Holiday
special, Werewolf by Night. None of that.
Yeah.
Just the series on Disney Plus and the movies. There's 15 of them. So in 15th place for the Royal Geek Podcast, we have, no surprise, Eternals.
Was it unanimous?
No.
Oh.
No. Ooh.
Okay. Interesting.
So the two of you had Eternals.
Okay. Yeah.
I did not in last place. Now I was close.
Very interesting.
Wasn't far off from 15.
Right.
Yeah.
I had something else in the 15 spot. But Eternals collectively the worst project
Pretty
that Marvel
hot garbage for sure.
maybe
Yeah.
Marvel's ever done.
Yeah. You know what? I would say so.
I mean,
MCU.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty close, especially just because of how long it was. And I don't know, I just felt like it was...
Meaningless. It was meaningless.
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to bring up that. It feels like completely out of place with the rest of the universe, and it doesn't seem to fit in really with anything that has happened in any part of the MCU otherwise.
Right. Yeah. So the feel that the MCU had through this time
Yeah.
did not match up at all with Eternals. It was
Yeah.
just out of place, out of pocket.
And maybe they'll like somehow build it deeper in, but it feels like a lot of at least some of the other properties that may be lower in the rankings overall than previous phases, at least like made contributions to the overall effort. Like Thor: The Dark World, there was implications that led from that
Yeah,
to
that's an
the rest
important
of
movie.
it. Yeah, very much so. Like the ether, literally one of the Infinity Stones.
And
you know?
maybe Eternals will become important one day, but it doesn't feel important right now.
Not at all.
Yes.
Yeah, so Eternals for sure. And even like I remember watching it and they by name mentioned Batman and Superman. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
And I was
do.
like so confused by that. And so just not a good movie. In fairness, I've only watched it once.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah,
I've
me
watched
too.
it twice.
You've watched it twice?
Yeah.
Okay, so Justin's watched it twice. Me and Amato are at one. I probably need to watch it again, but God, I don't want to. So, anyways, that is the last place property of Phase 4. Coming in at number 14. Also, a good consensus on this one, I think, is She-Hulk, Attorney at Law.
Yep. Oh yeah. It
Yep.
was very bad. I mean, I think I had some of my best rants during
Yeah.
this series.
That was probably some of the best clips we've got of our podcast.
Yeah.
Were you talking about She-Hulk?
yeah, it was just ugh.
We didn't even need
So
Ryan's
bad.
rants for that.
No,
Yeah.
the whole thing was rant.
Yeah, and part of it was just the fact that towards the end, it got meaninglessly better, like
Oh,
to the
yeah.
point to where it was like it's kind of
Serviceable?
for our sports friends, it's like garbage time is what that was kind of in a way. Those last few episodes, like the game was out of hand,
Yeah.
and it didn't mean necessarily a whole lot, but you look on the stat sheet and it's like, oh, it looks like he had a pretty good game.
Yeah,
Like,
not at all.
so that's kind of how it felt at
No.
the end, because the last two episodes were
Yeah.
relatively solid.
Honestly, it was actually last place for me.
Okay,
I
all right, fair enough.
actually put Eternals in front of it just because I was like, as I was thinking about it, I was like, would I rather watch all 9 episodes of She-Hulk
When you put it that way, yeah,
or, and this is still tough,
they're still
or
pretty
a
close
near
on runtime though.
Or yeah, exactly. Or a near 3-hour movie, and I was like, well, like there was a couple moments in Eternals I liked, but not much. So, She-Hulk comes in at number 14. Number 13, I think probably. Looking back on our year, well, I guess it was 2 years for the Phase 4.
Right.
Looking back on the last 2 years, I think the most disappointing of all of them for me, the one that I looked forward to so much, and then it just bottomed out, the Falcon and the Winter
yes.
Soldier.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Like I remember being so excited.
It was.
Yeah.
It was one of those similar to She-Hulk and some other shows that we are gonna get ready to talk about, where the anticipation was so high for a lot of the waiting to get to it, and there were some actual high moments in the series, but
Yes.
then the main storyline, the main plot falls flat, like
it's
completely
Yes,
flat.
like the main villain is just they came off as like bratty children in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah,
Not good.
the villain was
Not
so,
good at all.
Yeah,
And even more so when you think about the fact that she played basically the exact same role in the Han Solo movie, and she did a significantly better job. You know,
That's true.
like-
Actually, you're right.
So like, if she had just played that same type of role in that, it would have been maybe made a big difference in Falcon the Winter Soldier's review.
And
Yeah.
the fact that it was released so early on in the TV series, because it was a second series, right? Wasn't it? It was a second series.
it was the
release?
second
Yeah.
after WandaVision.
Yes,
So,
yes.
I don't know, man. It was just you were questioning what was coming next, like
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
And I don't know, the idea of it just being a nice like espionage type series felt like that's where it was going to go, and it didn't really have that
It's so
real
disjointed.
good feel.
So disjointed.
And,
yeah.
and especially when we had the great espionage of Winter Soldier, the movie.
Oh, I know, man.
And you were like, oh, now they can bring it down to the small screen. Maybe they can do what, maybe what Jack Ryan did, and bringing it from the movie to a TV series and, like that kind of thing. But it just didn't work out that way.
Just not good. So Anyways, that is the number 13 project or property on the list. Number 12, also a pretty decent consensus for us on this one, Moon Knight.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I had it right there. I
Yes.
believe.
Me too.
Yeah. I think it might have been a hair lower or higher for me. I can't remember.
I think
But,
Moon Knight definitely started.
oh yeah, no, I was actually higher on Falcon Winter Soldier than Moon Knight.
Really? Okay.
Just because I love the characters, and I did still enjoy all the stuff they did in with John Walker, and there were some things there that had some great
Correct.
depth.
Yeah, they had some cool things.
Right.
in
Yeah.
it.
But Moon Knight, I
I think Moon Knight was the start of my my hatred for some of these series.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know, because it didn't know what it wanted to be. Like Moon Knight. I mean, yes, I get it. Multiple personality disorder, that kind of thing, right? But
Right, yeah.
the show didn't have to follow along suit, not knowing what it wanted to be. Like it should have picked,
Yeah.
picked a consensus and just stuck with it. That
And
was
also just the fact that you had an elite actor that if they had a nice driving force behind it, like Oscar Isaac could have
carried.
Oh,
yeah.
for sure, absolutely.
because he had he did his performance was pretty solid and jumping back and forth in his own right.
Yeah.
It's just I understand the disjointed nature and everything that they were trying to create, but there needs to be some structure there in some sense.
So even though I had it low, I think Oscar Isaac's performance, I think it was episode 5, he still delivered one of the most incredible performances that the MCU has had. However, that's all for naught because they could not deliver a straightforward story that was even worth anything.
Yeah, it just goes to show you that a great performance can be buried in something that isn't super great in its own right.
And again, from what I remember, once again, most of these Marvel series had bad finales. Most of them did. But I feel like I remember Moon Knight's being particularly bad. I think. But again, that's not saying much. They're almost all the same.
I'm going to say, they for the most part. But it was a little bit up and down.
Yeah. That's really kind of came down to is
there were some good moments, though.
I think the overall nature, the underlying tale of every single one of these series, except for maybe one or two, has been the fact that they haven't quite figured out how the tracks work. In the sense of they can't judge the distance. Where is this end, and where do I need to start wrapping this up, and making sure that I have everything set to where it needs to be.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Number 11. On to the number 11 on our list of ranking Phase 4 properties. Actually, the one title that I think had the biggest variance
Interesting.
for us of the whole list. Somebody in this room is going to be very disappointed when I say that number 11 was Miss Marvel. And that would be Justin.
Interesting.
You had it a lot higher than us.
I did. The middle of Miss Marvel was not that great, but I do think that it did a good job introducing a new character. Not only that, but she was quite enjoyable. She was entertaining. She was funny. Her power, she was growing into her power. She actually had character development, unlike some of these other series. I don't know. I enjoyed Miss Marvel. I really did.
Once again, I think it comes down to I enjoyed her as a character, but it had probably the weakest villain out of all of these series, I would say.
Yeah.
I would take this sounds crazy. I would take the Flag Smashers over
the Gens.
Yeah, what was the other name they had? They had another name too, and that's what I'm saying. I can't even remember. That's how bad it was.
Was it a D? I think it started with a D. Deviants? No, not Deviants.
No.
Clandestines, right?
Clandestines.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yep.
But the Flag Smashers. The Flag Smashers were bad. They were worse.
They were pretty bad.
Clandestines were so much worse.
I think that her as a character was good enough for me to carry that entirety.
Okay. You're entitled to your opinion.
Oh, of course,
here.
absolutely. But
We don't hate you for it.
Democracy rules.
And I did like the progression of her, her suit development. I love a good starting from nothing and gaining. I don't know. I'm a sucker.
But if
for
I'm
that.
not mistaken, I think you had that Miss Marvel at 6. You had it.
It was
pretty
up
high.
there. It was in top 10.
You had it a lot higher. But me and Amato were closer there. Yeah, just Again,
I was higher on it. I don't know.
It's definitely got better. Like her family was a highlight.
Yes,
except for her
yes.
mom. Didn't like her mom.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean she had a good dynamic with her. That's what I
Yeah,
liked
I
about
guess
that.
so, but
the dad was like MVP.
Dad was
Yeah.
amazing.
His- Oh yeah, I mean her mom was a good character, I believe, but like her relationship with her daughter was not always the best. I'll admit that.
And her the community, the ensemble around her was good.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I also wasn't a huge fan of the damage control. Like I didn't really like. I didn't like their storyline.
No,
all that much. And truthfully, like the final like fight scene was a little like too like Disney
Home Alone.
like yeah it was like Disney Channel like beating up villain type of thing.
Yeah.
You know.
In fairness, we're gonna start getting into the middle ground here. So some of the properties we're about to talk about, they're not the greatest, but they're certainly better than Eternals. Okay, so with that in mind, number
We're
10.
eternally grateful that we no longer have to watch that movie.
Number 10 is Marvel's first attempt at an animated project.
There we go.
In What If?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a solid spot for it. I really do. And it did allow us as fans to see our favorite characters in a different light, and
Yes.
I think there's a lot to be said about that. I think the standalone property, like the one-off episodes, it just gives us a little taste of something different, and then we go jump back to our regular MCU movies and stuff. So I was on board with that. I like that.
It was like watching sandbox episodes that were all Reddit ideas.
Oh yeah,
Like
for
ideas
sure,
off
for
the
sure.
Reddit page,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it's very much set up to where it's like literally you be in a table with a group of friends and talking about how different characters would interact and that type of thing.
Yeah.
Which is one thing I loved about loved about the show. And, maybe I have a slight positive feeling about that just because of the idea of a what if scenario is just phenomenal in my mind in general. Just like that, the alternate universes type of things. I'm very much the one who's like, well,
like
how this should have happened or how that should have happened in different shows and media.
Like I'll never forget Ultron.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
and Supreme Strange. Like just it was incredible.
It was.
I
Well,
probably need to go watch it again.
T'Challa, Star Wars.
T'Challa a couple times too. He was in a couple different spaces.
Zombies, man. I love the zombies.
Zombies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
And the funny thing is that Shimado in his free time, he pretty much lives in what if. Like what if?
Yeah.
In every universe. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter
Oh yeah,
what
yeah,
it is.
entirely.
I love that. Okay, so number 9, a movie,
Okay. All right.
much anticipated, long awaited, Black Widow.
Oh, okay.
Some people forget that this movie was actually a part of Phase 4.
My biggest problem with
Mm-hmm.
Black Widow is the timing when it was released. I really
Yeah.
feel like this should have been between the two, Infinity War and Endgame. Like it would have made the stakes in Endgame hit a little bit harder.
Yes.
When the big finale happened with Black Widow's
Yeah.
character, and it just being after the fact, it didn't feel right.
Truth is, she is so good of a character, so important, that it actually should have happened right after Civil War.
Oh, okay.
Like it should have.
yeah, no, yeah. You're
Now,
right.
I guess a little bit of the problem was that was a part of the MCU where they were introducing so many new characters and movies, getting ready for Infinity War. So there might not have been the margin for it. But I'm like, man, they should have made margin for someone that was around since literally Iron Man 2. You know?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
So we talked about it a lot. We had a review on it, and we were excited about it because we were waiting. I mean, when we started this podcast in the middle of COVID, we were wondering, like, when are they just going to release it?
We had the anticipation of it being like our second episode, the review of that being our second episode.
Yes.
Because we were going to release the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and then piggyback off the Marvel theme and go into that one, but then they delayed it because
like
of COVID.
6 more months.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then it was a Disney Plus release, premium, or
I
whatever
know,
the
that
heck
was
that was.
sad.
Whatever money they stole from me. I don't know.
So
but
Black
yeah.
Widow, yeah.
I mean, I did enjoy it. It did give us a lot of great things to look
I
forward
mean,
to in the future.
Yelena,
Oh, my
like-
gosh.
Yelena was
dude,
great.
Yelena.
Oh, David Harbour, that's a phenomenal.
Yes.
That was a phenomenal character use right there. So yeah.
But it also gave us things to hate, like Taskmaster.
Yes,
Yeah.
like the
blue
maybe we'll get
Taskmaster.
a little more of that
Redemption.
character at some point.
I
But
hope
yeah,
so.
it
I
was
The
hope
action was good. You
Oh,
know,
yeah, for sure.
The villain was decent.
yeah.
But yeah, it left you wanting more, you know.
Yes.
So
Yeah, and you can't get it because she's
Yeah.
dead.
Oh, that's tough. Yeah. So, okay. Oh, actually, I forgot to mention that Black Widow was not actually in ninth place. It was actually tied.
Oh,
Oh, yeah?
okay.
We have a three-way tie. So Black Panther is tied for seventh place with two other properties.
You said Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Oh, I'm sorry, Black Widow.
Oh, Black Widow.
Apologies.
Oh, I was gonna say,
Apologies.
hold on.
I was about to be like,
Yeah, yeah. No,
I
that
was-
would've been-
I was like, oh.
we'd be looking around the room like, what did you vote?
Hold on a second.
All right,
so Black Widow's tied.
Black Widow is tied with her running mate, Hawkeye.
Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah?
So Hawkeye also tied. There's also a third project property in a three-way tie, which I'll get to in a second. But yeah,
Yeah.
Hawkeye joins Black Widow, tied for the number 7 spot. You know, Hawkeye for me was 6 episodes, right? And I
Yes.
remember
Yes.
for 5 of them, the first 5, I was like, this is one of the best shows.
Yeah.
And then you get to the finale, and I was like, so pissed because, especially for a lot of the shows that had the bad finales, they also had kind of weak shows in general. But with Hawkeye, I remember being like, this show is great.
Yeah. It was.
And
top
then the
tier, for
finale
sure.
was so bad that it's like I almost forget how much I enjoyed episodes 1 through 5.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't as high, but I do remember being like, definitely let down by that final episode. And I was very much so like, oh, like, and also I think what it did is it kind of pushed ourselves over the edge a little bit more as we were pushing more and more towards the idea that Marvel may not have a full grasp on what they're doing in
yeah.
TV
In these
form at the
shows,
moment right now.
Yes.
You know,
That's
'cause,
when it
yeah.
really felt like, yep. Because again, for 5 episodes, it was great. And then they missed the landing, and it's like, well, if they can't nail it on a show that was good,
Right. Oh, yeah.
Like, I get it.
Then
I-
how are we gonna go forward?
I
here?
get it when there's a show that, like, Falcon Winter Soldier was just bad in general.
Right.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, you know?
But it was solid throughout. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
it was,
Hawkeye was-
another one that failed the ending. It didn't land.
so
that's
bad,
for sure.
yeah.
But I mean, also it gave us Kate Bishop, which I am a huge fan of Kate
Yes,
Bishop and looking
I
forward
mean,
to all
yeah.
of everything
You
that
got
she comes in.
Kingpin in the MCU.
And,
like, there were
and
great
another
things.
cool, like,
Yeah.
and Yelena's return
Yes.
to the
Oh, man.
MCU as well.
Yes. Ooh.
It gave us the great dialogue between Kate Bishop and Elena. Like,
Yes.
that was a great scene right there, and the eating at the table. That
Yes.
was so,
The mac
so
and
fantastic.
cheese.
Oh man,
Yeah.
so amazing.
Are you guys dying to know what is tied with Hawkeye and
I mean,
Black Widow?
I think I have a pretty good idea, but let's bring
I
it
have
home.
no idea.
All right, I'm going to say it, and then I want you to tell me if you think that's what you thought.
Okay.
And I'm disappointed to say this. Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's what you thought. Did you think that too?
No, I don't think things. I don't
Okay.
know. No, I don't.
Yeah.
I
He's just
couldn't.
here to talk, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I don't. I didn't. Thor: Love and Thunder.
Tied for 7th.
I thought it would have been lower, to be honest with you.
Oh, really?
I did. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people think the same thing. Did you know that Thor: Love and Thunder officially, and this is crazy to me, now has a lower Rotten Tomato score than Thor: The Dark World?
Really? Okay.
Think about that for a moment.
You know what? I think here you go. I got something for you.
Okay.
So I think it's because Thor: The Dark World and Thor: Love and Thunder, it takes the character of Thor in two drastically different directions
Yes.
in like the heaviest lean possible. So
Yeah.
like they go 100% goofy in Love and Thunder, and then they go like 100% like dark,
Serious,
serious,
yeah.
brooding. But they couldn't find that happy medium.
Emotional.
Like they could, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly. But I mean, as goofy as Love and Thunder was, there were still a lot of enjoyable moments from that movie. I think
Yes.
the comedic aspect was good.
It was
But it was
hilarious.
overplayed.
It overplayed a little too much. It was like one of those things like you're laughing at a good joke, and then there's that one guy like laughing too long, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
dude, like it's okay, we get
Yeah.
it, it's funny.
I think it's also because of the fact that why it has such a low rating is because it came off the heels of why we have stated before one of the top 3 MCU movies of all time.
for sure.
It's I mean it would be like a 6 foot tall guy standing next to Shaq. It's like, okay, well, you may be 6 foot tall, but Shaq's 7 something, and you're gonna look
7'3" or
tiny compared to that. You're gonna look puny next to that. So, and I think that's the reason why, because
Puny,
it's
God.
such a phenomenal 3, and you got the same director
Yeah.
back, and you got Thor back, and you're like, oh well, they're heading in the right direction because they. You have Thor, and you have. It seems like they had found the formula and the director that you needed to go into. and then you end up being drastically disappointed because
Because you spend all that money on Christian Bale and you give him like 12 minutes of screen time.
yes, that too. Like,
Yeah, and you give us so much Jane Foster, and we literally could care less.
Oh man, that's wild.
So,
yeah,
it's higher on the list for me and for us. It's tied for 7th because it did still have enjoyable moments. But I actually think, there's things on my list that I was more disappointed by. But I think with Thor: Love and Thunder, of all the properties from Phase 4, it's the most likely where I could give a TED Talk or like a soapbox and just complain. Because it just was like, you blew it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you had everything good working for you.
well, I think once again it comes from the fact that like you had such a good jump off point, and it was like they could have just gone into the stratosphere. Like they could have made it so good.
But in fairness to Taika Waititi and, Hemsworth, if I have friends who are catching up, like they haven't watched Phase 4 yet, and they ask me about Thor: Love and Thunder, I just tell them straight up, like, hey, just go into it, low expectations, and view it as a comedy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because I think if you do that, you're a lot more likely to enjoy it.
yeah. And I mean, the soundtrack still rocked. It had a great
Yeah.
soundtrack
Yeah.
still. And to be honest with you, I still laugh at the goats. I really do, man. I do.
And I will say with what you were saying about Jane Foster, I was done with her after Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah.
Like I was
Dude,
like, I could go without this lady.
Yeah.
Like
I get why, in some sense, they wanted to have Thor's character deal with her loss. But I'm just like, man, let's just get over it. Like, let him find another fling. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
Lady Sif.
Hey, maybe so.
Maybe.
All right, on to number 6. So we had a 3-way tie for 7th. This project is very similar in my mind to Thor: Love and Thunder. The hype was so high, and I was like, man, how did they not make Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness one of the greatest movies of all time?
Goodness,
Yep.
man.
How did
you're
they
right.
not pull that off?
You know what? The real issue, the real villain of the movie was the fact that they spent almost no time in any other universes except for the
Like
3?
two
right?
or three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the real villain of the movie because they freaking just ruined it for us because they had so many opportunities. And then to give us a little 30-second flash of all those universes, then we didn't get to play in there.
Yeah.
That was so disappointing, man. It really was.
And the fact that there was kind of buried with some of that kind of stuff is the fact that Elizabeth Olsen gave there were some moments where she gave elite performances.
Chilling.
Like,
Yeah.
like she was just awesome in some of her scenes, and the way that she played the villain, and and some of the homages to other horror films and things like that, and the way that she was going through stuff was it was elite.
Yeah.
The way that she was doing it.
A lot of things went right though in that movie.
Yes.
Like, I mean, there's
Totally.
way more of the good and for me for that movie.
I
mean,
agree.
it is in our top 6, so I feel like that's it's
I think it's a disappointment factor.
My big
Yes.
thing is that I'll never forget feeling shortchanged with Thor: Love and Thunder and Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness on time. And I think that's what they nailed, and we haven't gotten there yet. But with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, they gave it the proper time. They gave it the proper runtime that I felt like respected the character and the storyline and what was needed in Black Panther. And I don't think they did that.
Yeah.
They didn't do that with Doctor Strange 2, and they didn't do that with Thor 4.
And I think that's part of the reason why we had our number 15 as well, because they gave too much time to Eternals.
Exactly.
Trim Eternals by like an hour and a half and distribute it between the other two.
Trim Eternals of about 2 hours and 37 minutes. All right. So we had 15 properties. And if you think about it, you kind of break them down into groups of 5, right? So properties 15 through 11 were Eternals, She-Hulk, Falcon Winter Soldier, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel. Sorry, Justin.
It's okay.
Those, in my mind, and it makes sense that they're clearly the weaker of the 5. Once again, sorry, Justin. And then the middle 5 all kind of feel like, kind of middle
of the road.
Middle of the road.
Yeah.
And those were What If, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Thor: Love and Thunder, and Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Which means if you're paying attention, the next 5 should not surprise you. maybe the order they come out, sure.
Yeah.
But these next 5 clearly are the cream of the crop of Phase 4.
Best of Phase 4. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, with that in mind, number 5, the property that kicked Phase 4 off in the beginning of 2021 and really got our creative minds and juices flowing, WandaVision.
Yes, WandaVision. Listen, WandaVision, it takes a hit for a lot of people in the community about the ending, the last episode, but I think that flop of an ending was not as great as people are talking about it being currently. Like people are talking down about the ending. Yes, they went back to like the crazy fight scene, like a lot of explosions, that kind of stuff. But I think the story that they told between the first 8 episodes and that episode, I think was a solid story still. And it was because of Elizabeth Olsen and what she brought to the character. That's really what it was.
Yeah, I felt like it was overall it was a really good story of her dealing with grief and her dealing with this insane situation that happened to her. And we got to see a lot of interesting things that really helped, that helped the Doctor Strange movie. It was, build off of that to where you get to see where she was at mindset-wise. Because I don't think it would have done as well in Doctor Strange if she hadn't been able to build up. You get to see all this grief building up in there. And I do think part of the reason why I got so much grief was because it was the first entity, and it was the first time we really got to see this big, the first time we get to really see the ball drop at the end of a series. Because we were like, first 8 episodes, we were like, oh, Marvel is bringing it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And we were like, okay, like Marvel is, everything they're going to do is going to be amazing, in these TV series. And it was the first, noticeable mark to where you're like, oh, well, maybe not everything, maybe they don't have everything quite figured out yet.
Yeah. Because we were still riding that high from Phase 3 and Endgame and everything.
Right.
And then WandaVision is just making your mind hurt.
Oh, yeah.
In a good way, in a way that we all love.
Yeah, it made you think. Like, I mean, really,
the mystery.
The biggest part of that series was the week-to-week discussion of what is going to come next. Like,
well,
that was
what
fun.
is real.
Yeah.
Like, just that, too.
And, like, the best part about it was that was new ground. Because we had always had a movie.
Yeah.
And then you talk about the movie after. We
then
never
it's
had
over.
we never had a show, a series with the stakes of, there were shows, but lesser shows, of course, with the stakes that WandaVision had. And guys, let me take you back. The first episode, it's in black and white.
Yeah.
The second one gets some color. The third one, I think, was in the 70s.
70s, yeah.
But episode 4, do you guys remember episode 4? It's the first one outside of the Hex.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's when the whole it all changed.
Everything changed. Everything changed.
Oh my gosh, it was incredible. So, WandaVision number 5. Amazing.
I think that's appropriate spot.
Yeah. And by the way, I think, and try not to look.
I'm not looking at your.
Right.
You're hiding it like
I keep
a child.
All right. The top 4 are really close. We had a point system because we all ranked ours, and I did the math. They're really close. So if you hear one and you're like, oh, how is that number 4? They're all really close. So with that in mind, number 4 of Phase 4.
Okay.
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Interesting.
Okay.
The newest property.
Which one of you yuppies?
The one we
didn't like this that much.
I had it as number 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so it was
that's
you.
me.
It was you. All right.
Yeah. So what did you have it as, Amato?
Number 3.
There you go. And you were 2?
I think I was 2. I think.
I'll look.
No, 3.
Nope, you were 3.
Okay.
So yeah, not that far off.
Okay.
But it was incredible. We reviewed it not that long ago.
Movie. Yeah.
Right. It was in November.
It was in November.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's going to be on streaming February 1st.
Okay.
So, yes.
Right around the corner.
So,
I'm looking forward to that rewatch. It's going to be awesome.
Yes.
Villain, fantastic for me. I absolutely love the villain. I love the fact that they gave the character of Black Panther like his respect in due time. I do appreciate that.
Not gonna lie, that opening, oh my, like that was chilling. Like it was.
Yeah. Agreed.
Maybe one of the 2 scenes that sticks with me the most in the whole entire MCU. That scene and the on your left scene in Endgame, or like just the way it hits me. Not saying like great scenes or anything like that, but just
how
the way it
makes you
just
feel, yeah.
emotionally
that's
just
good.
Well,
hitting.
there were at least 3 moments in Black Panther where I actually you felt something. Like I felt either whether it was tears welling up or some
Yeah.
sort of emotional I don't know. 3 moments in that movie that just really got me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fantastic movie, and the tribute they had for Chadwick, and just again the fact that they gave the movie the proper time, had good beats in it, good action, phenomenal storytelling. I remember watching that, and we might have said
Soundtrack
it.
too, by the
The
way.
soundtrack was
Yeah.
great. I think we might have said it on the pod when we reviewed it, but it felt like Marvel reminding everybody who they are.
Exactly. Especially when it was released. Like, it was the
Yeah.
last one, right? And
Yeah.
it was a lot of confusion throughout. Like you had ups and downs, mountains, valleys, all that kind of stuff. And it was Marvel putting that little fist in the air, like we still got it, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, so
pretty great.
fantastic. Wakanda Forever, Black Panther 2, great movie. Next up, not the number 3 property, but actually a tie
Oh,
for
okay.
number 2. This is
Okay.
how close it got.
Oh, yeah.
Black Panther was 1 point shy of also making this a tie. So they're all so close.
Yeah.
I'll go with the series first. Loki.
Fantastic,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Sticks the ending. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
oh
The
my
best
gosh.
ending, the best series,
Yes.
the best character.
Season 2, man. I cannot
wait.
Yes. Season 2, it seemed like right around on the horizon.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we will.
Not long from now. The thing that sticks out the most still to this day is the finale. Not only was it just great, but it was literally like a conversation the whole time. It was literally Loki and Sylvie talking to He Who Remains.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness, I know.
That's it.
Yeah.
It was just
Pretty much, yeah.
But
was
it
incredible.
was Jonathan Major's performance that just completely shook everybody, man. It was incredible. And it really has us all anticipating and salivating over the Kang entrance of what he's going to do with that character.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And the fact that I think one of the biggest impacts it has overall for anything that might be released later on is it allowed for the ability of, yes, anything and any character is possible in the
exactly.
Disney TV series. Because I think up to that point, we were kind of like, so how far is Marvel willing to go to reveal and or have their big entities show up on these TV series?
Yeah.
And yes, Loki's big. Yes, in all that kind of stuff. And we saw some cameos in, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and you had all these kind of things here, but these weren't this is the introduction of a big bad, in a TV series.
Literally the next Thanos, if you will. Kang the Conqueror.
Yes.
Well, the guy that plays Kang the Conqueror, right?
Yeah.
But
Yes.
gotta be clear. But yeah, I agree. I mean, it just felt like I remember similar to WandaVision, the speculation with Loki was close, not as mysterious, but it was close where it was week to week. It was what's about to happen.
Yeah.
But going into the finale, we're we even did it on Buy or Sell. We will see Kang, and everyone's maybe, but probably not. Why do we really think they're going to bring?
Well,
Yes.
why would that happen here? Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that really is. It was the moment of up until that moment, I did not 100% believe there was the possibility that Marvel would do that.
Yeah.
And not just because I didn't believe storyline wise, but I just didn't. It didn't make sense to me. I couldn't comprehend the idea of them dropping somebody that big.
Yeah.
In a TV series.
And I do want to point out, I think it was either episode 3 or 4. We had what we think's going to happen or whatever, and I was the one who did say He Who Remains would be a potential. So I just want to point that out.
Just want to brag a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, you got yours with the Infinity War or Endgame starting off.
yeah.
But anyway, that's a sidebar.
Yeah, sidebar. All right,
Great
back
show.
to the main
Great
discussion
show.
then.
Great show.
Not a show, but a movie. And a fantastic movie because it's literally tied with Loki for number 2 on our list.
I'm curious.
Spider-Man
Wow.
No Way Home.
That's amazing. I love that.
Which we'll talk about why that's important in a moment.
Yes.
But I think there's probably some people who are a little surprised to hear that that's number 2. I
Yeah.
think if I had to bet, most people listening would have thought that No Way Home would have been the clear number 1 property for Phase 4.
And you know what? There's probably people out there who are like, didn't they say all of them already?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I can't wait for number 1. But let's give some time to Spider-Man here. I mean,
Yeah.
guys,
Dude,
it was incredible.
wild. It was wild. It was an adventure.
one
it
of the
really
gr-
was.
Nothing will ever top Endgame's theater experience.
Mm-hmm.
But for just like not like a big team up movie, for like just a normal movie. It sounds weird to say a normal movie because it was still had a lot in it. But
Yes.
for just like a single character movie, like literally named after for Spider-Man,
Right.
one of the best theater experiences I've ever had.
It was a great
yeah.
experience. It really was.
It actually wasn't far off from the Endgame experience. So yeah, I mean, that had so much to do with it, and just the true multiverse coming together, and
Yeah.
seeing all the Spider-Man, and
Yes. Oh, man.
my
Yeah,
gosh.
them blowing open the doors. It was like, you know what? We now can get our hands on the rest of those Sony
Yeah.
Spider-Mans, and we're gonna do it.
And giving Green Goblin
Yes,
his
and the
time.
villains,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh my gosh.
like
man.
all those universes,
Willem
they were
Dafoe,
like, yes,
so good, man.
yes, he
yeah,
was
redeeming
elite.
Electro.
Oh yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a great point. And
Like, there
Sandman,
was
Sandman too.
And Sandman too. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, there was just so much, and the heaviness, and Aunt May, and just like,
Yes,
I mean,
Ooh,
a movie that,
that was a scene. Right
yeah,
there,
man, like,
that moment where you realize, oh, there's a reason why there isn't an Uncle Ben. It's because Uncle Ben is actually Aunt May in this
Yeah.
universe.
exactly.
Oh man.
So, No Way Home was maybe the most anticipated project in Phase 4.
Yeah. And it's
gotta be.
How about the week leading up to it, where you had to avoid like?
Oh,
It was you went dark for.
I went dark. Yeah, I think we watched the movie on a Thursday night. I'm pretty sure on Monday, I deleted everything on my phone.
well, Monday was the Los Angeles premiere, so they were
Yeah,
releasing stuff.
yeah, and then other freaking countries around the world were getting in like
Yeah.
Tuesday and Wednesday. I was like, I gotta stay away. So, yeah, Spider-Man: No Way Home, number 2, tied with Loki. So Shamato had Loki at 2.
Yes,
You and I had Spider-Man at 2,
Yes,
and Loki at
yes.
3. But all 3 of us, not just one.
Wow.
And I thought that I was. Did anyone else think they were going to be the only one
Yeah,
to have
I did.
Shang-Chi
I did.
and the Legend of the Ten Rings as number 1? Did you think that too?
I thought one of you would. I
Might have
wasn't
it.
sure if both of you would though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. I thought that our consensus would have said Spider-Man at 1, and then Shang-Chi, I had a feeling would be 2, or Loki, in fairness.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And I wasn't even putting that on there to, I'm going to try to be different.
yeah,
that kind of
neither-
thing. No,
neither.
I was legitimately putting on there because it truly is an incredible film.
Yeah.
Like the soundtrack in that movie is phenomenal as
it's
well.
great.
It is. But I think the fact that he's a fresh character, a new
Yeah.
character, I think it really does a great job of opening up the mainstream MCU to a more culture. Like, I mean, the same thing that Black Panther did for the first couple phases. I think this is doing a good
Yeah.
job of doing that. The Asian culture, bringing it into the light in this next grouping of movies. And I mean, Simu Liu or whatever. I forgot. Sorry, dude.
Simu Lee.
Simu Liu,
we're not great with names,
Sorry,
y'all.
my guy. Anyway, Shang-Chi. He did a phenomenal job playing the character.
Yes.
He just brought so much charisma to the character. He had some comedic chops as well.
Yeah.
But you actually did believe him when he was in the fight scenes as well of being a bad A. Like
Yeah.
he was like he was doing some
The
real
action,
moves, man.
the action,
Yes.
choreography.
And they had a great little
Music.
sidekick in Aquafina. Aquafina was pretty hilarious
She was
in her
great.
own
Yeah.
right.
She did her thing for sure, man.
Good villain, fantastic
Yes.
villain.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, man. Villain and they did what they're not supposed to do, with making mistakes where they kill the villain. Unfortunately, you can't go back and use him.
yeah.
But man, he was so good. He really was.
Yeah.
And all throughout the trailers leading up to the movie, it was always the bus scene, right? The bus scene. And then when you actually watch it, it like
lived
blow
up to
it,
the
it,
hype.
it lives up to the hype and blows it out of the
Yeah,
water.
true.
Like, it was
Yeah.
so crazy, man.
And like even like the crazy ending with like the dragon
Yeah.
fighting the demon, the
Yes.
flying demon.
Yeah.
It's absurd, but it still looked fantastic.
It did. It
Yeah.
looked really good.
This is another side conversation. I said this when we did the review on this movie, but this would be a good conversation. We'll resume another day, but I'll throw it out there. It's got to be up there with some of the top origin story movies in the MCU. Maybe in all comic book movies. So superhero movies.
It's a great
So
conversation.
We'll save it, but I just had to throw it out there one more time. But
Yeah.
I think there's probably some people listening, some people watching who are like, y'all are freaking crazy.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you want to put Spider-Man No Way Home at 1, none of us are going to say you're freaking crazy
Yeah.
for doing that.
Yeah, I would say any of the
We just
like
didn't do it.
top 5, you can really
Yep.
that is a personal preference to me.
Totally.
Like I would be okay with that. That's your prerogative if you
I
want to
thi-
be.
yeah.
You know how you were feeling when you watched it, how that show affected you. You know that's fine by me.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure my wife would say WandaVision would be number 1 for her. I'm gonna throw that out there and I'm gonna ask her. I'll get back to you
Yeah,
guys. on
please
that.
ask her. Let me know.
But what a list, guys! That was fun. I'm glad we did that. So I'm fired up.
Yeah.
Phase 4
Officially closed.
is over.
Yeah.
And there's big parts of it where we're glad it's over. Not gonna lie.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But especially those last 5 properties we just talked about. I mean, they were incredible. So,
Yes.
man, the next thing we need to do, just for fun, maybe not a pod, or maybe a pod, maybe we need to do a full ranking for all
All
phases,
phases.
movies
Yeah.
and shows.
I mean, hey, why not, right?
I'm down. I want to do it. So, all right, here's what we're going to do next. Justin, you're going to lead us through this.
Yes.
We are also going to do a preview. Again, not in depth. There's just a little, talking for a little
Start
bit.
the conversation.
Yeah.
Like, just get you thinking about it. Get you, anticipating or dreading. I don't know.
dreading.
Depends where we get to.
About all of the series and movies for Phase 5.
Yes. So we are officially less than 2 months out of. Actually, we're a month out, aren't we? Yeah,
What's
we're
the first thing?
Ant-Man and the Wasp on
Yeah,
February
yeah,
17th.
just-
We're a month out.
just
Yeah, we're
over
a month
month.
So anyway, Ant-Man and the
Tickets
Wasp.
are probably soon, actually, by the way.
Ooh, we got to talk.
So we need to talk about
at
that,
the pod. And so Quantumania. We talked about how much we
Can't wait.
enjoyed Jonathan Majors.
Can't
right?
wait.
Yeah, I know.
And I love Ant-Man, too.
Yeah. Oh,
I've always
of
loved
course,
Ant-Man.
Of course, honestly, it's a solid two movies, and I think that this being the third one, which is crazy to think about Ant-Man getting a third one over some of these other people, but
Think about the journey of Ant-Man. Silly movies, but like without Ant-Man, like Thanos wins, first of all.
yes, that's
True.
true. That's true.
And now in his third movie, oh, by the way, you're going to like introduce Kang the Conqueror, like as Kang the Conqueror.
I
Right?
mean,
Correct.
yeah, Agent Woo. I mean, come on.
Yes.
Yeah, and Agent Woo. I mean, it's
Which
just,
he's not going to be in this one, so
Yeah.
is that for real?
I'm pretty sure I just saw that.
Well, in fairness, they're going to be in the quantum realm.
Yeah,
for
it
pretty
seems
much the
like
whole
it's
thing.
fair enough. Fair
It
enough.
kind of feels
yeah.
like it's gonna be relatively self-contained.
But we will get
inside
him
the
in some
quantum
other
realm,
other
but-
shows. I'm pretty
Hey,
sure.
yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this, man. This should be a good
Yeah,
time.
I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm going to talk about the films first, okay?
Yeah,
I'm
let's do movies, yep.
All right, and so the next one coming out, and I don't have all the dates for all these, so just
That's okay.
anyway, it is what it is.
Do we know the dates roughly for Phase 5, like when it would end? Do you guys?
I mean, it's in 2024 for sure. I know.
Okay,
that.
so probably
it looks
about 2
it
years
ends-
again?
It ends in the September of 2024.
Okay, so
Mo-
almost
for
2
movies
years.
at least.
So it's probably about 2 years. Okay,
Yeah.
keep going to movies.
All right, and then we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which how can you not be excited about
Yep.
Yeah,
this?
we also have a trailer for that. So these first 2 movies we actually have trailers for.
There is content for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Guardians it's got to be good, right? I mean, James Gunn again, his send off.
They're hyping it up. That's what they're
Everybody's
doing,
send off actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're saying it's the last time the team's going to be together, but they don't
Yeah.
specify.
If certain characters are going to be
Right,
done.
correct. And then
Yeah.
this week alone, we have Batista coming out saying like he's done with the MCU. I
Well,
guess.
that's been long kind of rumored.
right, but still,
But it's
still,
sad, yeah, because Drax is
he's one of those characters in the MCU that has come out of nowhere and
Yeah.
like
Fan favorite.
stolen people's hearts.
Yes.
That's for sure. But
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to this, and the soundtrack's got to be amazing. I mean, it has
Oh,
to
yeah.
be. I mean, no doubt
It's
about
gonna be
it.
elite.
no, I cannot wait for Guardians 3.
Yes. All right, another movie coming out. We also have The Marvels, which
Yes.
for me, this is kind of picking up anticipation for me because I mean, yes, Captain Marvel movie was meh, right? but I did enjoy seeing Rambo's character in WandaVision and also seeing Miss Marvel.
Yes.
As you mentioned earlier, T-Roll, I was a fan. But they are going to be
Yes, you
joining.
were.
They're going to be joining Brie Larson in this new movie, which I think is going to be much better than the first one. So, so much so where it was originally supposed to be like Captain Marvel 2, but now it's the Marvels because they're going to be able to.
It's a real ensemble.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I am looking forward to this movie.
And I wonder, like, how long it's going to take in the movie for them to actually all come together.
To actually be in
Yeah.
the same area, like the same
like
room.
proximity,
Yeah.
yeah. Just like
Yeah.
how long in the movie, like, it might not be settled in the first act,
Right.
you know?
Like how far did Kamala and
I cannot wait for
Carol
them to
Danvers
explain
switch.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wh-
that was
wh-
so
like, where
weird.
was she when they got switched? When they
Right.
supposedly
what
switched
planet,
spots or
what
whatever?
galaxy, that kind of
Yeah.
thing, right? That's gonna be wild to see. But
Yeah.
I am looking forward to that movie, believe it or not. So all right,
I am too,
this next one.
as I yawn. Sorry, y'all.
as you yawn. This next one is Captain America: New World Order.
Yeah.
So a lot of things uncertain about this.
Right there, right
Yeah.
into the veins. Anything with Sam Wilson,
Yeah, you
Captain
ready for it?
America. If you throw out the words "New World Order,"
Yeah.
it's gonna have some sort of And I wonder like where it happens in regards to Secret Invasion, which we'll talk about later.
Right.
Right. I want more properties like that where there's
little more-
mystery.
Yeah.
There's spy stuff.
A little more
you know.
grounded, right? A little more
little more
grounded.
grounded.
A little more confusion for what to expect from this because obviously Sam Wilson, phenomenal. We want to see more of him, right? However, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series led us to kind of to be skeptical about a lot of things as far as
But he was never the problem.
No, he
for
was
me.
not the problem. He was not the problem. But their storytelling was because you gotta imagine that U.S. agent's going to be in this movie, right? Like you kind of feel like
Very
potentially, right?
possibly. I mean, it depends on where they're gonna lay with that kind of stuff. And wasn't it originally supposed to be a series, and then they bumped it up to?
No, that's for another one that I'm about to talk about.
Okay.
A little bit. Yeah, but yes, Captain America movie like Winter Soldier. I mean, top tier, phenomenal movie.
Yeah,
it really
like
is.
Captain America 2.
Yeah,
yeah,
Captain
yeah.
America. Yes, Captain America 2. So I really feel like this has the potential to be a really good movie, a really great movie.
I hope so, man. I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful.
Yeah, and anyway, there's not a whole lot about this movie out right now, so I'm just looking forward to it. I really am. All right, and then another movie here. We got 3 more movies left. Thunderbolts, which we do have concept art for this about
Yeah.
the lineup, the cast.
You want to talk about question marks for me?
This is it right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's already being labeled as the MCU Suicide Squad, which depends which Suicide Squad they're referring to. I'll gladly take the second one over the
Yeah.
first one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's good.
we are getting Yelena back in this one,
Right.
So that's
Yes.
something to look forward to.
Yeah, I do. It's gonna be interesting to see because I feel like a lot of what they're setting it up is a lot of these characters are going to be manipulated into doing something that they probably shouldn't be doing.
Don't want to
and
be
it's
doing.
going to be or don't want to be doing, or they're thinking they're doing the right thing when they're really not. And I could see that being kind of an annoying plot point.
And my thing is the concept art or in the poster, whatever I saw. How do they get Bucky? Because Bucky is apparently a big part of this.
Oh yeah,
And
he's on there. Part of
and
the
I'm
team.
just like, it just feels like his character has moved on from being used.
that person, yeah.
right?
So
Yeah.
he's got to get reeled in somehow. Like they're either holding somebody hostage or something like that, where he has to
Something.
do a mission.
Yeah.
Which the bigger question is, I know
where you're going.
is how does he get his arm back from Rocket?
Yeah, that too.
Okay, I didn't know where you're going.
And there's a lot of there's just a lot of weird things. Like all these characters that they're bringing in are people who have been used, who are being used again, which seems like in some ways a stale plot point for every single one of these characters. Like Bucky, he was brainwashed and used. Yelena, brainwashed and used.
Taskmaster.
Taskmaster, brainwashed and used. U.S. agent, he feels like he's been used as well. I mean, not brainwashed, but he's been used as well in the same vein almost as the others. And it seems like a lot of these characters are gonna be rehashing their old issues in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still looking forward to it, especially I believe we're getting. This is where Harrison Ford's going to make his debut, right?
Yeah, that's right. I think
Thunderbolt
so.
Ross. So
Yeah.
that's going to be interesting to see.
I mean, talk about an elite
Yeah, yeah. Trust me,
casting
I know.
choice.
Especially since we're getting Indy 5 later this year too. So,
Yeah.
all right. And then Blade. Blade is also going to be.
Okay.
Yes.
It did get through some hiccups. They had a directorial change. They had rewriting the script because the director changed, that kind of thing, and it was almost to the point where I was like, are they about to recast because he's going to drop out because he's got too many other with Mahershala Ali
The commitments
and the commitments and all that kind of stuff. But they're on board. He's a part of the writing team. They're all
good.
pushing forward. They're pushing forward on this. So I am looking forward to Blade. I was a fan of the original
Yes.
when it came out, and I still kind of it's like a guilty pleasure movie now of mine that I just truly enjoy.
And Mahershala Ali is an elite acting talent.
He is phenomenal, and I can't wait to see. I mean, it feels like it was how long ago when they introduced it he was going to be Blade, and we're
Eternals.
we still have not had.
Oh, sorry. Never.
Yeah, you're talking about Kit Harington's character.
Well, but you hear
Black
Blade's
Guardian.
voice.
You do hear his voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do feel like it's long overdue to see this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was announced. Was it right after Endgame when they did all or maybe before?
It was the Comic-Con after Endgame.
After,
I think
yeah,
it was.
okay.
Yeah. Geez, man, that feels like
Yeah, I
forever
think that's
ago.
right.
Yeah. All right. So
Any other
anyway,
movies?
Well, this is my my outlier here.
Okay.
Is Armor Wars fits in here somewhere, and it was
That's a movie now.
It was elevated to a movie. It was confirmed to be a series originally when they announced it, but then recently, in the last 6 months, they have talked about upgrading it to a theatrical film.
Man, I don't know how I missed that.
Yeah. So I'm just curious where it falls because this one, out of all of them, looks like it may end up being pushed to Phase 6, but it's supposed to be a Phase 5 release when it was a series.
But it just feels like it could fit in with Thunderbolts, New World Order.
Yeah.
Here's my
Secret Invasion.
speculation. My speculation is that
Too similar.
well, no, my speculation is that Captain America, New World Order, Thunderbolts, and Armor Wars is going to be the big crossover storyline that's going to lead us into the next Avenger movies.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm
Which you're
thinking.
about to get into.
Which actually no, because Avengers are in phase 6. So
Both of them?
yes,
Yep.
both of them.
Okay, I didn't know that
Yes. So we just have series now. There's all right. So there's only actually let's see 1, 2, 3.
either. So hold on.
6 series.
Does that mean that the Kang Dynasty is going to be like the first part,
no? Fantastic Four is the first part of Phase 6,
and then
there's
two?
There's only those 2 on docket. Those 3 on docket.
well,
Yeah.
and
As
probably,
of right now.
right? And
Yeah,
probably
as of right
Deadpool.
now. Oh yeah. See, there's a whole bunch of uncertainties,
Gaps,
like
yeah.
no titles listed.
And
Yeah.
Kevin can do whatever he wants.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can.
KEVIN.
Yeah. Yes, the machine.
Yeah.
All right. So series wise, we're switching over to the series world, and the one we have a trailer for, Secret Invasion. Man, this one right here is my series to watch. Okay. This is gonna be the one that I'm gonna be most looking forward to.
Yes.
Samuel L. Jackson, Maria Hill.
Yes.
Who else? Emilia Clarke is
yes.
about to play
Yeah,
somebody.
yeah.
Oh man, Ben Mendelsohn is going to be back in this one. Like this, it's going to be a wild ride, and it's going to be. I feel like it's going to be the same vein as Winter Soldier, the movie.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this.
I'll say
big
this:
time.
if they blow it,
Don't say that.
if
man.
they blow
Don't say
Secret
that.
Invasion,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be so let down.
Yeah, that's gonna be a really hard one to handle.
I'm praying. No, I'm not actually praying. Maybe I should.
Maybe you should.
That they would finally get away. Like stop trying to make every series fit a certain. You're Marvel. You can literally do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Star Wars is over here having 14 episode, seasons.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, or whatever they
Yeah.
just had. So it's like, do whatever the heck you want. You're Marvel. It doesn't have to be 6.
Yeah.
42-minute episodes.
Give the series time that it needs.
Yeah.
To be successful.
I'm desperate for it.
Yes.
It's gonna be great. The trailer would look great. Everything. The tone looks amazing. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I'm also looking forward to this next series as well, Loki season 2. I mean,
Yes.
we did have it ranked very high in our list that we just talked about with Phase 4. But Loki 2 is going to be hopefully a wild ride.
Yeah.
Especially when the way it ended too, with the Kang
yeah.
statue, and how is that going to play into the
And
rest of this?
It's going to happen before again, it's probably going to operate outside of time, but for us, it's going to be before Avengers: The Kang Dynasty.
Yeah.
Sounds like by
Yes.
like a year or two, maybe
Yeah.
a year and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least.
I just can't wait. There's got to be a scene coming somewhere in Loki 2 or one of these Avengers movies where Thor and Loki see each other again.
I don't know. I don't think there will be.
I hope it is.
I hope so too, but
I hope.
I don't know. It's tough to say right now.
That would be really
Don't do that.
interesting, to see like something like that happen where there's a crossover. Like you get to, he gets to see him again, or maybe
From a
we did-
distance?
or maybe something like as simple as like maybe Loki sees Thor, but Thor doesn't see Loki. Like maybe it's something that has already happened in either Love and Thunder or something where he like affects something that you didn't know was being affected.
I'm calling it now. You ready for it?
Yeah, please.
It's going to happen in Secret Wars, so like 10 years from now. Well, actually like 3. But it's going to happen in Secret Wars when there's a lot of multiversal
Beings,
characters. Thor's going to see Loki, but he's going to assume
Oh my gosh.
that
he's
it's
a
not
Skrull?
hi- that it's maybe a Skrull. I was saying that he's going to assume that he's from another universe and it's not actually
His
his
Loki,
beloved
yeah.
brother.
Right.
Yeah.
And Loki's going to have to try to win him over, but then one of them's going to die before it happens. So, yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Because they're just destined to not.
I do think that this is probably the most important Marvel property
Loki too.
in the TV series. They need an anchor series. They need something to be super solid and keep them moving along because of everything else has been either mediocre to above average, and this is the only one that has been above average that is like guaranteed
Or for another season.
like more seasons at the moment.
You're not getting another WandaVision 2 as far as we know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, we could, but who knows what's gonna happen with that?
Well, I'm pretty sure Phase 6 is going to have Vision Quest, which is White Vision series. I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
Why's it got to be white, man?
That's where we left off at, man.
But yeah, like
Oh, that's
I
good.
just feel like it is the flagship right now
Right.
for
For sure. Correct.
for them, and keeping the quality of this show is very important because if they lose this show's quality, then the whole structure kind of falls apart. Whereas they can kind of afford to be hit or miss on other stuff, and they have one flagship quality program that's consistently like leading the way.
Nice,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
That's good. That's a good word.
And quick side note, you mentioned Loki seeing Thor again. What if it's more of a scene where Loki's like multiverse traveling, trying to stop himself from doing some crazy stuff, like himself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he sees from afar like Loki himself getting ready to kill Thor, and he goes up to him and he pulls him off, and it's just Matt Damon and Luke Hemsworth, the actors, and they're,
Yeah, that'd be good.
That's how he sees quote unquote Thor.
Yeah. Or maybe he stops him from that scene where he transforms into a snake.
Oh,
Or
there you go.
whatever,
There you
like something like that.
There you go. All right. Moving on.
I'm watching Ragnarok soon, by the way, because of y'all.
Good. I'm glad. All right, and so the next one, Ironheart, the Ironheart series. So
Yeah.
we got Riri Williams in
Yeah.
Wakanda Forever, which she was a good character, fun
She's
character.
awesome.
She was a good
and
character, yes.
She was great.
We will be getting a full series of her, which I'm actually looking forward to.
Yeah, man, she really rocked it. A lot of the younger characters, I haven't been crazy about, but I'm actually really excited about this show. So that's cool.
Yeah, and they really are setting us all up for a young Avengers.
Yeah.
Like they have all the pieces now. I feel like, and they could really make this happen. They really
Yeah.
could. So, all right, moving on to another series. One that I'm a little bit, I don't know, meh about, and it's Echo.
Yeah.
Okay, sure, cool. She was an all right character.
Yeah.
It's definitely different. It's going to be interesting. It depends on who the supporting cast is going to be.
Well, she
That's
doesn't
what it's really
talk,
gonna
right?
be.
Like
Right,
she-
correct, yes.
That's
So,
a big thing where it's like,
yeah.
not that I'm against having someone who can't talk. It's more of like, what will it actually?
How will they like play it out?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, is it going to be a lot in her own head? Like, is it going to be like she's talking, but she's literally in her own head?
No,
Like,
I don't think.
You don't think that's going to be it?
No, no way.
here's
I think
my
it'd be doing
thing.
a character disservice if they did that.
And here's my thing. I'm not saying that. I don't want anyone to mishear me. And T-Roll doesn't think we should have
inclusive. You're not inclusive.
Yeah, not inclusive enough. No, the truth is, it's just that Marvel hasn't done the greatest job with their series yet.
Right.
And now they're going to try to do one where the main character, is deaf,
Yeah.
doesn't
Correct.
speak,
And the actress actually truly is deaf. So
which is cool.
yes.
It's just more of like, I hope it doesn't blow up in Marvel's face.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to hope that
Oh
it does
yeah,
good.
for sure. I'm
not trying to be negative, but, just Marvel's
But
track
it's the one
record.
that I have most question marks for.
There
Yeah.
you go.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And it does have a difficult premise. Like, how are they going to play it out?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it does give us the possibility of seeing Kingpin again in a more
which is
more
cool.
hands-on role, which would be pretty fantastic to see because we all love Vincent D'Onofrio. So,
Yes.
all right, moving on. This next one, I feel like this one's just fan service, and it's Agatha, the Coven of Chaos. And,
Yes.
Not the House of Harkness.
not the House of Harkness. No, it is
Coven of Chaos.
Yes, Coven of Chaos. So it's gonna be interesting because that character kind of she stole the show with Catherine Hahn in WandaVision.
Totally.
But what purpose is this gonna serve?
Yeah.
Which
Is
I
it a
have-
prequel?
Is it a prequel or a sequel? Like that's one
I
of the,
have
like,
I have a theory. And the theory is that Agatha, it's going to be a sequel, I believe. I'm not 100% certain on that, but my theory is that it's going to be a sequel, and it's going to help introduce us to the supernatural further, like Werewolf by Night. It's going to give us Blade. It's going to give us Moon Knight type of stuff, and it's going to give us the Black Knight with Kit Harington's character from Eternals.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's the direction that Agatha can potentially.
do you think she'll
open.
get some redemption, like as a, like, do you think she'll finally see like the error in her ways potentially?
no.
Or that she'll still be kind of herself?
I think she'll still be kind of herself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but I don't have really high expectations
Yeah.
for it. So
I mean, it'll be just kind of fun, and I feel like I love the fact that Catherine Hahn is going to have a chance to be a leading character because she's usually just kind of like a side comedic character, and so I'm just really happy for her as an actress to be able to have that chance to like lead the way and be the front runner.
And which Agatha are we getting? Are we getting the one that she played a character as Agatha, like when she was intertwining into her television stories that Wanda was creating? And then we got the Agatha at the end where, she was powerful, snarky, that kind of thing, but she wasn't as like goofy, quippy, that kind of thing, as she played up to be in the black and white and all that kind of stuff. So it'd be interesting to see
Where does she fall in?
Yeah.
Where is she? How is she still being, if at all, affected by that final spell that
the runes,
Wanda put on her?
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
Yeah. And how does that spell break unless Wanda lets her out?
Or
was she
Wanda
let out?
is dead.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
There you go.
Or maybe when she went to another universe, like there's all sorts of questions.
I mean that actually is a good point. Like maybe when she left the universe, that broke her bond with this universe. So any spell that she had in this universe was countered.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it, but not really high expectations. So, all right, and then the final series, which is Daredevil: Born Again. So we get Charlie Cox into the MCU, and he's going to have his full series, and I believe it's an 18-episode slate, which is going to be
what I'm seeing too.
fantastic. And
Amen.
I mean, obviously, I believe we're getting Kingpin again, but I hope that we get a lot of.
Aren't they just gonna like show the Netflix show?
I hope we get a lot of what made his show so special on Netflix, but with a more MCU
family friendly feel.
No.
Not family friendly,
more of an
but
MCU connectivity is what I was going to go for.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't saying because I want it, more of just because they have to.
They do. Do
that
they?
too.
Do they though?
Yeah, I think they will.
I don't know. We'll see.
I love the idea that they're going to be potentially
Deadpool's
able
on the horizon,
to
that's why.
like the catalog is a possibility that they could they could bring in like a Bullseye and stuff like that, like different characters for them to be able to pull in to play those kind of roles. The catalog is a lot bigger when you're able to connect back with the MCU and all that kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would be super cool to see him be able to do that and, see some of his old characters come back. So that would be super awesome.
Yeah.
And is What If in this phase 2? Or is it season 2? Or is it gonna be the next phase down.
Yeah, it's coming. I don't know if it's
coming.
season.
It was
phase
not on.
5 or
It was
not.
not on my phase 5 preview
Okay.
list, unfortunately.
Well,
But I know zombies are around the corner too. So
hey, what about Eternals 2?
It's sadly I think being made, isn't it? I don't
Hopefully,
know.
it stays
Is it really?
eternally
I don't know.
forgotten.
I don't know. I hope not.
I could see them just.
Hopefully
totally
they just scrap
pivoting.
it. They scrap it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard pivot.
Yes.
Well, guys, I'm excited about Phase 5.
Yeah, man.
Phase 4 was, mostly.
It was up and down. It really was.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was okay. But Phase 5, I'm very excited for it. We're hopeful after what Black Panther did for us to finish off Phase 4. I think we're really hopeful that Marvel's going to. I mean, again, look, you're starting with Quantumania, which should be awesome, and then Guardians 3. Like,
Yeah.
if Phase
You
5
screw that up, I swear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Phase 5 does, and I think the first series is Secret Invasion. The
Yeah,
first
it's
series?
Secret Invasion.
Okay, look, man, the first 3
Let's have a talk.
properties should be home runs. So
Yes.
Yeah.
if they're not,
Like Black Panther level, like that kind of
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
exactly. So let's hope for that. We've been going for more than an hour now, so we're gonna wrap it up here. But man, it's been good to be back, boys.
2023,
Yes.
baby. Let's go.
2023. We want to thank you for listening. We want to thank you for watching. We want to remind you to please hit subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching, and to also follow us on social media at Royal Geek Pod, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Please follow us. Please engage with us. And really, for real, if you got any Marvel friends of yours that love Marvel, please share this podcast, whether the YouTube video, take the URL and send it to them, or, the podcast version. Please share this podcast with any friends of yours that would enjoy it. We really want to, try to get some new fans out there, meet some new people this year.
Exactly.
Or if they hate Marvel, there are a couple of series that we did not enjoy ourselves,
Yeah.
and they can join in on
That's right. Yeah.
our dislike. We'll take either side.
Yeah.
Views are views.
It's a fair point.
Definitely check out the anime edition as well too. Me and some other guys, Trevor and JD, we break down some anime too. So
Yeah, those
definitely
shows
check
are
that out.
those shows are awesome. So, yeah, we got some cool things cooking for 2023. So we hope that you guys will come on back. Please share the pod, and we'll be talking to you soon. So, with all that in mind, for my good friends Sandy and Shamato, this is T-Roll saying thank you so much for listening to the Royal Geek Podcast. We will see you next time, you peasants.